Hi, it's 3 o'clock on Tuesday, February 24th, and I announce the special meeting of the Nairn Hyman Council, open and ready for business. There's no delegation, so we'll move straight into our public meeting. We actually don't have anyone in the audience. This is about our water budget. So moved by Councillor Austin, second by Councillor McDonald, be it resolved that the council meeting be temporarily adjourned at 3:01 PM for the purpose of a public meeting. All in favor? And that's carried. Moved by Councillor McDonald, second by Councillor Austin, be it resolved that pursuant to bylaw 2007-9, the public meeting is now officially open for the purpose of hearing comments regarding the 2026 Nairn Waterworks budget and the proposed changes to fees. All in favor? It's carried. So should we do your presentation and pretend we have people here?
Can if you want me to.
I mean, it's so nice.
Okay.
That you know what, that it's online for other people to see, and then everyone knows the numbers that we're dealing with. And no one's here for comment, but. Now, do you want to give us a little bit of a monologue as you go?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah. Do we announce that we are wanting to raise the budget by 5% this year? And this is the explanation of why.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. 5%. Sorry, everyone.
So what we're talking about with this budget meeting, a lot of questions that have come to, I'm sure many of you, are why are we reviewing water rates every year? I think we can all agree that none of us want a water rate increase. Nobody likes their bills going up. But unfortunately, when we do run a water treatment system, under provincial legislation, we are required to demonstrate that our water systems are financially viable, meaning that the revenues from our rates need to fund operating costs, capital replacement, and fund long-term infrastructure needs. So, like we said at the beginning, no one wants to have to bring this up, but unfortunately this isn't discretionary. We have to maintain our financial sustainability. So as Mayor Mazie announced that we have recommended a 5% increase. And this is essentially in line with our water financial plan that was developed and approved by council in 2025. So just to give a little update of how 2025, what our financial performance was. Essentially, our system expenditures were $257,453. And our system did remain financially stable in 2025. So we did not have to dip into reserves as much as we thought. So this allowed us to sustain financial viability in 25, but unfortunately it just shifted the problem into 2026. So our budget overview for 2026, our overall water expenses are forecasted to be $432,277. Seems like a very high number. Of that, $176,526 is operations and maintenance. And then we have some miscellaneous capital expenditures planned at approximately 74,000. And then while we have got the majority of the rehabilitation project complete, we haven't received billing for it. Our contractor has decided not to bill us until the warranty period's over. So that'll be in 2026 this year. So what's our expended revenue? Water rates were expected to bring in $181,569 and grant funding to support the rehabilitation project of $132,985. So that brings our total revenue to $314,000 and change. And as you can see, that puts us in a deficit position of almost $118,000. So if that's the way 2026 actually rolls out, that will need to be pulled from reserves.
So just if we weren't to see that number, what would have to happen? That some of the work isn't done?
Well, unfortunately, all the green stream rehabilitation project is already pretty much complete. So
Okay,
we don't have the option to not move forward with that. That grant funding was only, we have to have the project complete by October 2026.
So
So
you-
there are a few little capital projects that could be delayed. However, Aqua is saying that they've been delaying too much, and we have to get caught up with some of these changes of equipment. So this is just an overview of what our capital costs are, or what the projects are. So like I mentioned, the HVAC and ventilation system is already complete. A high lift pump needs to be replaced. We're planning one this year and one next year. A low lift pump needs to be replaced. That's under that rehabilitation project, so that has to be done by October. The hot water heater that heats up the water to begin the chemical processes needs to be replaced. And then our coagulant pump system needs to be replaced and chemical system hooks to be replaced. So really what the core issue is a lot of our big equipment needs to be replaced, which have in the past been funded by reserves. So right now at the end of 2025, our reserve balance was $129,447. With the projected expenses this year, if we do not increase water rates, we will only have $11,724 left in reserves. So with a 5% increase, although it doesn't bring us completely out of the woods, you can see it's not as hard a hit on our reserves. We'd be sitting around just under 21,000.
I just want to make the point as well that really a lot of the work is being done because the water equipment is 30 years old. It's really kind of getting to the end of its life.
Yeah, so our water treatment plant just had its 30th birthday. And while in a human, that's a great age, but in a water treatment plant, it's getting old. So, and a lot of these big systems have to be not changed right away, but we have to have a plan to financially sustain the changing out of these big pieces of equipment. So our financial plan projected that in 2026, we'd start experiencing annual operating deficits. So because we've delayed a few things, we're not going to see any deficit issues until 2027. But as you can see, with what our projected expenses are, we're going to be in the woods till 2030. And that's even with some increases. So unfortunately, nobody, like I said, nobody likes this, but we have to remain financially viable. So this is just a chart with proposed water rate increases. 2026, 5% increase. And we can discuss the water rates in the next slide. So this kind of just shows impact to residential rates quarterly. So with a 1% increase, it would impact at $2.67. But as you can see, the trade-off is what's being put back into reserves, just under 7,000. 3% would be an increase of $8.91 to a residential bill. But the reserve amount is coming up. And then 5%, that's what we're proposing, would be a $13.35 increase quarterly. And that would let us put 14,000 and change back into reserves. So with all this being said, staff are recommending a 5% water rate increase. So although it's not ideal, what this increase would support is it basically supports rebuilding our reserves. And it supports the long-term feasibility and sustainability of our water treatment plant. So, and really when we are operating a water treatment plant, it does fall on council and upper management to make sure that the water treatment plant is being sustained, that the water is safe, and that we're making sure that we can sustain that.
So I'm looking at the presentation and I can see that the owl is showing all of us in the room.
Okay.
So do you post your presentation separately when you do it online?
Yeah, I would have to.
Yeah. Okay, I just it just really clarifies the issue and I wanted
Yeah,
to
for
make sure everyone could see it.
Could you see it, Karen?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, that's great. We've already kind of come to a consensus, so I don't know that we need. So you can close the. Moved by Counselor Austin, second by Counselor McDonald, be it resolved that the public meeting is now officially closed at 3:12 p.m. And the council meeting is now reconvened. All in favor? That's carried. And moved by Counselor McDonald, second by Counselor Austin, be it resolved that the 2026 Nairn Waterwork budget be approved with a 5% increase. All in favor? And that's carried.
We just have to pass the bylaw for weeks.
Moved by Counselor Austin, second by Counselor McDonald, be it resolved that being a bylaw to regulate the supply of water and the price thereof for the municipal waterworks be read a first, second, and third time and finally passed in open council, and its number shall be 2026-8. All in favor? That's carried. Moved by Counselor McDonald, second by Counselor Austin, be it resolved that being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the council of the corporation of the Township of Nairn and Hyman be read a first, second, and third time and finally passed in open council, and its number shall be 2026-9. All in favor? That's carried. Moved by Counselor Austin, second by Counselor McDonald, be it resolved that the meeting of February 24th, 2026 do now adjourn at 3:15 p.m. to meet again at the 9th day of March or at the call of the mayor. All in favor? It's carried.